I like to use a lot of interactive stuff in my practice so that people could get a real visual glimpse as to what's going on. I try to stay away from a lot of medical jargon and try to simplify everything so that we can all understand and be on the same page. So as I said before, what is a disc herniation? Let me get it by a show of hands. How many people either know somebody who's had a disc herniation or has had one themselves? A lot of people here. So how do you get these disc herniations? It comes from many things that we do. We could get involved in car accidents, which is one of the primary ways. We could have some sort of sports injury. Football, any kind of contact sport can create these kind of injuries. You can fall from a ladder. You can be picking up something incorrectly, which gets done very, very often. People do what we call the kiss of death, and I'm going to demonstrate that right now. This is one of the ways that people herniate their discs the most. This is the kiss of death. So they're out and about, they're doing something, and they pick up something as they're twisting, and they pick something up. This is the easiest way to herniate your disc. All right. Why? Because the disc, what you're doing is you're twisting, you're bending, so you're putting yourself in a compromised position, and now you're adding weight to that. So how many people have done that? And not even thought about it? A million times, right? Another way that happens very commonly is when somebody goes to reach in the back of the car to pick up either a book bag or pick something up that's very heavy. They're twisting and they're lifting. Good way to mess yourself up. So let's have a look here at what a disc herniation looks like. And I'm going to rotate this way and I'll rotate this way so you guys can see it here. So basically the disc, the structure is, the disc is between each of your bones. So you have bone, disc, bone, disc, bone, disc throughout your spine. And what we have here, let's look at this right here. We're going to look at the side view of a disc. So we have the nerve, we have the bone, we have the disc. And your discs are basically like your shock absorbers in a car. They allow you to distribute the weight from top to bottom. They allow you to be able to bend, lift something. And if the force is too high, what'll end up happening is the disc squeezes out, it compresses, and it goes usually to the back. It'll go to the back or it'll go to the side and it'll squeeze the nerve. And this is what creates a lot of pain with people. Pain so severe that it can knock you down to the floor. You can also get what we call numbness and tingling going down your leg. So if this disc put enough pressure on that nerve, it'll send tingling sensation down your leg, even to the point where you're numb and you can't even feel your leg. So there's a variety, there's different levels and severities of disc herniations. Okay. But we could see on this side of the room, you can see it. So here we go. This is your compression right there, and then you get the disc squeezing out. All right. Now I'm going to show you the bird's eye view. So here's the bird's eye view. We're looking at the disc, and we're looking at it this way. This is the disc, and inside there's what we call, it's like jelly substance. You have your spinal cord, and you have your nerve, and there's a disc herniation, and there's one that's even worse. And now we're going to look at a short video. All right, so what ends up happening, and now we're going to look at this side here. I'm going to replay it for you. All right, so what happens here? What happens is something similar, and I'm going to play a funny example here, like a jelly donut, so you guys can see it here. So here's the disc, there's jelly inside. You drop that ball, boom. Let's replay that one. All right. This is an oversimplified way of explaining the disc, but this is basically what happens. So when the disc herniates, it puts pressure on those nerves. And once it puts pressure on those nerves, that's when everybody gets what we call a back attack. The pain attacks them so bad that they become immobile and they really can lose function of their leg. Now, I'll give you a few case scenarios. So, we had going back about a month ago, somebody got rear-ended by a truck, and the truck practically crushed the guy, leaving him with the steering wheel here and his back here like this. This guy has like 5 herniated discs. Okay, this is one way that I've seen it recently happen. The other way, somebody is carrying 2 bags of concrete. If you know how much concrete weighs, some bags are like 60 or 80 pounds, right? Imagine carrying 2 of them, bending forward, throw them into the back. Not a good idea. So 1 concrete bag is heavy enough, 2 concrete bags is crazy. So that was another way that somebody herniated a disc. The next way, we had a young lady crossing the street going to college in Jersey City, and it was raining. It was maybe 5, 6 o'clock. A commercial vehicle comes by as she's walking the street, boom, knocks her down. She lands on the pavement, sustains a concussion. She herniated 3 discs in her neck. So there are so many varieties of ways that you can herniate this disc. And now I'm going to talk about the third type. The third important point is, how do you get better with this? You do need to have training in how to take care of disc herniations. Disc herniations are complicated, and they can range from mild complexity to very severe complexity. Can I take care of all the disc herniations? No, I can't. I'm going to tell you flat out, I cannot. There are some disc herniations that do require surgery. There are some herniations that do require injections. Why? When our conservative treatment has failed, we have to go to the next step. I am proud to say, though, that about 80% of disc herniations that come into our office, we can take care of conservatively. So we could do chiropractic, we could do acupuncture, we could do some treatment programs like swimming, we can have them do laser therapy. So there is a variety of things, acupuncture, all of these things we try to do before somebody goes into either the injections or into last surgery. 2 minutes. All right. Let's open it up for questions. Anybody have questions? Steve Cernum?
Alex, this is a question for you, Phil, and probably Anthony. Are disc herniations in and of themselves enough to overcome the verbal threshold for excellence?
In most cases, they are. Now, they have to obviously show that they're permanent and that they are compromising people's health. Yes. Yeah.
My question is actually related to what Steve asked. I was wondering, can a disc herniation ever get unherniated?
They'll get better,
Yeah.
but never totally resolved.
Cool. Okay.
Because I'll tell you why. Once you disrupt this architecture here, once you disrupt that, it's almost like trying to take an egg and uncracking it. You can't do it anymore. Once it's cracked, that's it. It's cracked. So we could do our very best. We could improve. We could stabilize these fibers, but no, we cannot get it going back to normal. It's like anatomically almost impossible. So.
I see people, as they get older, people tend to be born like that. Is that because when they were young, the posture, they didn't stand correctly? Now they keep themselves like that.
Sure.
How's that?
Good question. All right, so he's talking about something that's an epidemic here in this country now. So people think that just because you're 70 years old, that this is just because you're 70 years old. No, this all started like at this age, even younger. So the texting, yeah, let me have that phone. You see everybody walking around like this. They're crossing the street this way, or they're sitting at their desk. Many of you are guilty of doing it. Everybody is. All right, this is an epidemic. So you hear like this, and if you start to add up all those minutes, all those hours, and all those months, now what used to be this, your normal is that. And then as you get older, this is your normal. And of course we have gravity. Gravity never stops. So if you're like this, gravity keeps pushing you down, and you just go further.
11 pounds per square inch.
All right, that's it. Thank you very much. All right, thank you for listening. Dr. Alex.